Four of them. Count them. Four. Here are four of the people who occupied the center of our popular culture over the past 25 years. First, I am honored to present the world heavyweight champion of 1978, 43 wins, 7 losses, 33 knockouts. Here is Ken Norton, right here. All right. The heavyweight champion of the world, 1978 to 1985, 48 wins, 3 losses, 34 knockouts. Here is Larry Holmes. The world heavyweight champion from 1970 to 73, 33 wins, 4 losses, 27 knockouts. This is Smokin' Joe Frazier. Right in. And now it is my honor to present a political figure of the 20th century. He is still pretty. He is still the greatest. He is the heavyweight champion of the world forever. This is Muhammad Ali.
Tomorrow at noon, Oprah goes in search of New York women who possess classic chic.
Family cheese. I'll tell you, it's been a while. Show them that little bit of film. I just want to take you down memory lane. Here are some of today's guests at work. Here are the people who have thrilled us, not only here, but around the world. You can roll that, and I'll just gab a little bit. Here is a piece from a videotape titled Champions Forever. This is early in the career of Smokin' Joe. And there's just one fight that the referee decided shall continue no more. Here are 4 gentlemen who moved billions and billions of dollars from one pocket to the other as people around the world alternately were thrilled and appalled at this activity of professional sport, which we can only conclude will never, ever be erased from a free society. Nor will the criticism of 2 grown men standing in the ring trying to knock each other senseless. Here is the reigning heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson, at work. This could be Las Vegas. This could be anywhere. What is it about us that draws us to ringside every time the big guys get in the ring? And look how pretty you still are. Prettiest nose in the history of boxing. Remember sometimes more fun during the pre-fight than there was during the match. Are we ready with the mouth that roared? Here's the poet and the man who is a promotion manager's dream. I mean, could he sell tickets or what? Just take this quick look at boxing history.
Close your mouth and just keep it closed.
Well, you know that's impossible.
No, keep it closed.
You know that's impossible. I'm the greatest. And I'm knocking out all bones. And if you get too smart, I'll knock you out.
Just close your mouth, but just let me keep it closed for 10 seconds.
Well, that's impossible. You know that's impossible. Henry Cooper's nothing to me. If this bum go over 5 rounds, I won't return to the United States for 30 days. That's final.
Okay, since you're not worried about this guy Cooper, how about when you get through with him? What are your plans after that?
Well, you're right. I'm not even worried about this big bum. Cooper will only be a warm-up until I get to that big, ugly bear, Sonny Liston. Right, bodyguard? I walked into London, England. I jumped off the airplane. Picture, cameramen, everywhere I go. You can look in the gym today. The TV, the cameramen, everybody follows me. I'm so great.
I saw Sonny Liston a few days ago, Cash.
Ain't he ugly? He's too ugly to be the world champ. The world champ should be pretty like me.
Well, he told me to bet my life that you wouldn't go 3 rounds.
Well, if you want to lose your money, then bet on Sonny.
Oh, may I ask you
Because
this?
I'll never lose a fight. It's impossible. Tell him. It's impossible.
Never lost a fight in your life.
Ask any of my fans when was the last time they lost. I'm too fast.
Champion from
I'm
the
the
crib.
king. Born the champ. Born the champ from the crib. Ah!
Are you taking Zora Foley too lightly?
Why would you say that?
Because every indication has been that you're confident that you can beat Zora.
I'm confident I can whoop all of them. This ain't nothing new. My image has been confidential. What you trying to make it look like something new for? I'm always confident I can whoop all of them.
You're being extremely truculent.
Whatever truculent mean, if that's good, I'm there.
Well, there he was. Were they the good old days?
That was crazy.
You were what?
Wow.
You look at that, and what do you think, champ?
I can't believe it's me.
You know, you sold a lot of tickets
I
doing it.
didn't realize I talked that much.
Huh? You didn't realize you talked as much. You feel good. You feel good right now?
I feel like trying Joe Frazier.
You feel what?
I feel like to trade Joe Frazier.
Now, Muhammad, don't get crazy. I got some questions for you from an adoring public worldwide that is more than a little concerned about your physical well-being. Are you ready?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You are slower of speech than you were in the good old days. I'll tell you everything I know about you, and you'll tell me whether I got it right.
Well, look, it's going to be a war.
No, it isn't. No. You're not coming after me, are you, Chan? You're not coming after me.
It's going to get rough out of here. I got you.
I ask these questions with... You cannot get out from under the curiosity and the empathy that people have for
You told
you.
me backstage you weren't going to ask no more questions.
No, I just have one.
You lied.
Wait, no. Your ex-wife was here? No, wait a minute.
All right, I'm out of here.
Wait a minute. Now, what is not so funny, Muhammad,
out of here.
is it, do you have Parkinson's?
What is that?
Do you shake?
No.
That's pretty steady. That's good.
That's what he called to me.
He does.
No, he was wrong with me.
Well, now, do you mind if I talk to your brothers here about you? Just for a second?
Now, wait a minute. Not the white part, okay?
Well, no, you'll come straight now.
Okay. Here.
A lot of folks out there who make their lives about condemning what you did for a living.
Right.
They think it's immoral,
I love
knock
it.
people around
That's
silly,
what-
rearrange the wheels in their head.
That's because blacks control it.
Huh?
That's because we control boxing.
You control boxing?
We're the champs.
You are the champ.
White men don't stand a chance.
But here's the question. You're all free to jump in here.
Come on.
Is Muhammad's speech slower because he took too many shots to the head, I'm asking?
I don't really think that
You
come
more
from...
than me.
Yeah, right, there you go. I was more than you did. There you go.
Tell him, Joe. Tell him. Smoking Joe.
I would say that...
All the people who really got Parkinson's, they never boxed.
There are a lot of people who have Parkinson's who never boxed. You make a point, my
What
good
you
man.
getting at?
He's talking slow because we've been up since 6 o'clock this morning.
Uh-huh.
All day long. We're tired.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You want to make a contribution to this, Ken? Any thoughts about it? I'll tell you this, I don't want you mad at me either.
Well, let me see. I feel that it's not from boxing, no.
It's not from boxing.
No. Mine from an accident. Always is something it's a disease.
It's a disease can strike anybody, whether you're heavyweight champion of the world or a talk show host.
It's been proven. And don't forget it.
I won't forget it. I won't forget it. Well, has it been a good life, Smoking Joe? I mean, when you look back, come on.
I would say that without the years of the fine people that I've been involved with around the world and the Lord,
yeah,
and Mama and Daddy and all my family, they did a fine job with me, and I just love living. I mean, for the people, because I just work now for my boys and other young men in the gymnasium, and Larry and Patterson and Muhammad and whoever I can make it do it. You know, I just love doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Now let me tell you just, there's one other question now. All right. You don't walk out on me. Have you got any money?
It what? You ever hear me?
I'm almost as rich as you.
Really? Well, you know, poor Joe Louis died broke.
Who said that?
Who took it? You tell me.
The government.
The government. And were you smart enough to make sure that you were invested in a way, you know, you made baskets full in it.
Are you smart enough to invest yours?
I'm sorry?
Are you smart enough to invest yours?
Well, I am. I hope I am.
Well, I hope I am.
I hope you are, too. Now, why would you be upset at that question? The history of boxing is one of the exploitation of young men like yourself.
I think fighters are smarter today than they were in the day that Joe Louis came. I think manager had more control over the fighters than they do today. Fighters are promoting their own fights. Take, for instance, Sugar Ray Leonard. He's promoting his own fights, and he's getting, say, 90% of the cut.
Yes,
so that makes him much smarter than the average Joe back in those days. Fighters today have much more, but opportunities, you know, for these fighters to get that money is very slim. They got to be tough.
Yeah. What you wanted to say, Joe, about this issue, money?
Well, I feel like any one man, if the manager doesn't take control of the money, let's say, and he went away with it and do this and that with the man's money, but today is different. Where the fighter has his own idea of what he wants to do with money, and invest it right there, and don't forget, pay uncle. You got to pay uncle. There's no doubt about that. So I feel like fighters doing a smarter thing with their money that they can invest in. I live off investment myself.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, these guests will not be upset if I remind our viewers that available at bookstores around the world, not to mention other places, is a videotape titled Champions Forever. It is a tape I have seen, and you talk about down memory
Tell
lane.
them where you can get that tape so we can make money.
Well, you tell them now. You tell them, Kenny. You tell them. You tell them, Larry.
What's that, Walmart? Walmart?
Walden. Walden Books.
Books, yeah.
I just want to share with this audience. Okay. Ali versus Frazier. Frazier beat you, champ. You know what? That's the hardest punch I ever think you took in your whole career. You remember it?
Why are you agitating?
Huh? Why am I showing it?
Agitating.
I'm not agitating. This is on the tape.
You have arm reach.
I know you got a longer arm reach. I want you to...
Should we beat him up in here?
No, don't do that. I got kids and a wife and a dog. You don't want to hurt me. Here it is, 1971. Incidentally, it was 1970. It was 1970 the Supreme Court decision overturned the suspension of Muhammad Ali as the heavyweight champion of the world because he refused to fight in the Vietnam War. Here's a man who stood up courageously, not only in the ring, but outside as well. Ali's status as a boxer is restored, and here he is working against Smokin' Joe Frazier in the green. You are going to see something rare here. Here is Muhammad Ali about to take as big a shot as he ever took in his career. You'll see the seconds wind down. Look at this hot dog here. The performance is on, but you've got to believe that Ali is hurt. Watch this.
£190.
Champ says he weighed 190 pounds during this fight. There's a good left.
Get off.
Now look at this. Still performing. Here is Smokin' Joe Frazier's greatest fight. They called it the fight of the century. 1971, Ali is on his heels. Stand by for a big left hook. There it is. This is from the tape, Champions Forever. Now you see this in slow-mo. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this left. Oh. That's as big a shot as Muhammad Ali ever took. And, Joe, this was not necessarily an easy thing for you to knock off a very popular champion. And there were people at the time who, I remember you and I worked a prison shortly after that, the Ohio State Penitentiary, and there we were with an audience filled with really serious convicts, we might say. Yeah, tough guys. I stood next to you and called you sir for the whole hour. A guy stood up, I remember a lifer stood up and said, "Are you the Great White Hope?" Do you remember that? That upset you, kid.
Yeah. Well, I put all of it because against my man here, he started out the Uncle Tom stuff. That's why we had so much problem with our promotion during the years as he went by, because he called me a Tom, and I never know what a Tom was because I never peeped in nobody's window. So those bases, I didn't quite understand what he was saying. And then when I found out what it really was all about, I called me Uncle Tom. I was trying to sell tickets.
I'm glad you waited, caller. Go ahead.
Well, I got a good question for Joe Frazier, who I respect very much, as well as all the other fighters.
Yes.
Joe, I'm a young father myself. What I want to know is, how can you push your son into the ring, let him fight those world-class fighters when he is not the fighter you were? And by the way, that was a hell of a fight. What a punch that was. But please, answer the question.
Come on, what he said. How do you feel it?
He wants to know whether you're just maybe you got more hope and enthusiasm for your son than the talent would suggest, and you're putting him against superior people, and maybe that's not such.
Number one, I thought that Marvis had let's say, a good record when he faced Mr. Holmes here. He got hit with a shot, and I think you've seen the greatest here. My numbers, my fight was less than his own, and then I put him down, so therefore that has nothing to do with a man getting caught with a shot. I thought Marvis was ready at the time. Larry knocked him down to stop the fight. So I wasn't going to argue about it, but I think there was 1 second the bell would ring. He had a better chance, but that's the name of the fight.
And he was getting $1 million for that fight.
He got $1 million?
That's right.
Any comment about this young man's offspring?
Marvis?
Yeah.
I think it was good to get the $1 million because how often can you make $1 million coming from the ghetto?
Rarely.
I have to say, for 4 men who have taken and given a lot of punches, you all look great. But but beside that, do you think all the training and all the fighting and all the punches that you took, was it worth it, what you put your body through?
I have $14 million worth of property, and plus I'm still a multi-millionaire.
Yeah. Next question.
Next question, yeah.
Are any of you sorry you did this?
No.
I'm sorry I got old.
Would any of you do it differently?
I would say we'll eliminate some of the people, but we'll do the same thing. We'll sacrifice and go through the same procedure. But the people that are there now that I don't guess should be there, we eliminate that and we'll do it ourselves.
We got the lines jammed here, but I got so much, I got some fight footage I want to show you. Are you there? Hi.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to ask Joe Frazier how he would rank Mike Tyson among the greatest heavyweights of all time, and how he thinks Mike Tyson would have done against Muhammad Ali in his prime.
Well, number one, I really don't think Mike is that far out of range for all our gentlemen up here. let's say, Mike is fighting guys that really, I would say, not quite in the caliber that he is at a particular time. Now, I usually say things that which people might don't quite understand. You don't put a truck up against an 18-wheeler. You know what I mean? A Volkswagen. You have to get a bigger truck. And all these guys that Mike had faced maybe one or two heavyweights. Once was Larry.
And I was over the hill.
And Larry, well, I don't think Larry was over the hill. Well, Larry, I got a lot of guys up here with as my friends, and they probably can understand. But all these guys that stand up here, you got one full flush heavyweight that sits here on this chair, on this dais. One. Me. Me. I'm the only full flush heavyweight up here.
Yes, sir.
And that makes a difference.
Yes, sir.
I'm Alonzo Knowles, and I would like to ask Muhammad Ali a question.
Go ahead.
All right. I know you wrote The Greatest, right? Or they did adaptation for The Greatest from your writing. But I'm a boxer and I'm a playwright, right? And I think it's a new breed of fighters coming. Everyone thinks fighters are silly, that they don't know anything, they're from the ghetto and from this. But I'm a playwright coming into boxing, I'm gonna make my professional debut. So I think that you should look at fighters not just as ignorance, but the people who are audacious and trying to get ahead.
I assure you that's how I look at you as we stand next to each other. Yeah.
Nobody here says that. You know.
Yeah.
We're fighters.
Well, I have a, first of all, I'd like to say to Larry Holmes that I think you did a very good job throughout your career battling the media. And but I have a question as far as headgear. I know they always throw that into it. Do you think that ever will come about in professional boxing or not?
Myself, I welcome the headgear, because why should these guys take the blow, without the head guard? I think you can have just as much damage with the head guard as you can without it. I would like to see the fighters use a small head guard like they do in the amateur or the Olympics and whatnot. But again, people won't want that because they would think it's another form of exhibition and they would not pay the dollars. But I like it. Anything to help the fighters and help them accomplish their goals, I'm for it.
I want to show you two of the talented men who are on our stage facing off. This is Norton versus Holmes. I don't remember the year, but
1978, June 9th.
June 9th, 1978. Watch this. For some unknown reason, Larry remembers. Look at this.
He's gonna follow up.
Look at this.
Running out of time, and that's it. It's over. Larry Holmes has done it.
Larry Holmes has done it. You're never going to forget that night.
Never.
What a wonder. He cheated. We'll be back to discuss this further in just a moment. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. I'd like to know if what any or all of you plan to do with the rest of your lives now.
I bought a boat.
Good for you. Hey.
I'm going fishing.
Yeah?
I don't like water.
Yeah. Kenny?
Well, my first thing is to go with the rehab and get better.
Well, how long ago was the accident, auto accident?
About 2.5 years.
And you're gimpy still, aren't you?
Don't be a gimp.
Well, you got yourself a hobble.
Yeah, I was like, it was pretty bad.
Yeah?
I was paralyzed for about 2 years. But things are coming back. Voice is gone. But God wasn't ready, so I'm still here.
You sure are. And looking good.
This question's for Muhammad Ali. You had said that there are people with Parkinson's that do not box. So do you honestly feel that your career didn't attribute to your illnesses at all?
I don't think it's boxing.
You don't think it was boxing? No. It's a disease that would have had its onset if you were an accountant or worked for IBM. We saw you take a shot from Joe Frazier. Now it is 1974, and you are to be heard from. Here is Frazier versus Ali from the videotape titled Champions Forever. Here is Muhammad Ali getting even with Smokin' Joe. Roll the tape.
going to get more joy.
Joe Frazier in trouble here in round 2. Here reps the 12th round. And there's the end of this sensational fight. Muhammad Ali with the unanimous decision in one...
A TKO, or a decision by Ali. Didn't take you long to come back, champ. Are you there, caller? I'm glad you waited. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, holding up well.
Addressing this to the four gentlemen who've all been around and been seen boxing go through one, let's say, WBA into WBC into ESPN titles. Are they making boxing too hard to get ahead for a new fighter? I mean, there used to be one champ, one title. Now there's the ESPN title, is a Thursday night title, the West Coast, the East Coast.
Yeah.
For a sport where a body has to take such abuse and...
Is there too much activity?
Really, I mean, the guy works so hard, doesn't he? Where are they going to draw the line as to where the guy has to fight 100 fights to get a shot at the champ?
Yeah.
Well, what that has to do with let's say, the fighting ability of that one particular man? They could have 1 trillion sanctioned by the boxing body, but if you go out there and kick butt and get the job done, otherwise...
He says you have to kick butt 100 times before you even get a shot?
No, that's not true. That's not true. No.
What he got to do, Phil, he got to fight the guys that are rated in the top 10. I mean, you can go out there and fight 100 guys, but the guy's not rated, you don't get the opportunity to fight for that title. We had to go through a line of fight. I had to go through Ernie Shavers. He had to fight somebody for his, and Kenny had to fight. And that's how we got in line to get that opportunity to fight for the title.
Just give me a brief history of your own childhood. Ken Norton, nobody had more power than you did, and it's certainly evident by the way that you've recovered from an accident that probably would have killed most folks. You didn't, what was the nature of your childhood? Mom and dad at home, or how many kids?
My mother and father were at home. I went to high school, had a scholarship to college. Left college, went to the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps allowed me to fight when I was 24. And
what, did you have a football scholarship in college? Boxing?
Basketball, football, and track.
And where was this?
Beg pardon?
Where was this?
Northeast Missouri State.
And your first fight?
I was about 25.
Is that really the first time you ever threw a punch at age 25?
Well, I was in the Marine Corps, right? And either go to Vietnam and get shot, or stay and get hit.
So you stayed and got hit, did you?
Yeah. I'm what you call a coward.
Well, and your mother raised no foolish children, we'll say that. Larry, you used to call yourself the street fighter. Were you as a kid?
Well, I was born in Cuthbert, Georgia. That's about 300 miles from Atlanta. Moved to Eastern Pennsylvania at the age of 5. Went to school, dropped out at the 7th grade, became a fighter, and here I am.
Joe, let me tell you the book on you. I got a line here. I mean, this is...
Well, the guy who wrote the book, he was guessing.
Well, here's what we know about you.
What I put together was guessing. Wait till mine come along, and I'll tell the truth. Some I can live by, some I wouldn't live by, some I ain't gonna tell.
When you were 14 years old, somebody called you a nigger.
Oh, no.
Trigger.
Same thing. Now, it go back much further than that, Phil. Let's say he was 13 in the family. I was the youngest. We had to
13.
13, yeah. I had to race to get to the table and try to, beat my brothers and sisters. Yeah. I was the youngest. All jokes aside, I was the youngest, and they had to make sure everything was prepared for me at all times because I was daddy's baby. I left the South at an early age. I moved to New York. I was here, stealing a few cars, new, old, same thing, go to the junkyard.
Yeah.
When I left here, I went to Philadelphia. Then I put the gloves on there.
Yeah.
When I moved to Philadelphia from New York City by the South, I was already designed. So therefore, all I need is somebody in front of me.
Right.
Because my daddy...
But you've known, I mean, you were the target of a racist slur, didn't you?
I came from down there, where it was really rough.
Did you punch the guy who called you that?
We got in a fight, and him and I started tussling, so therefore I got the best of it, and Mom didn't feel like I was safe. They started moving it north.
She actually wanted you to move just to protect your behind.
It was rough, so therefore we didn't want no problem. You know, I wasn't really equipped for that, but now I'm equipped.
And how about you, Louisville Slugger?
This guy had a sweet life all his years.
Yeah,
you know
let me tell you what I did. I saw him interviewed once.
Never harsh.
There were lots of guys in your high school bigger than you. You were a skinny kid.
There you go.
He was a skinny kid.
Middleweight.
I'm telling you.
He was a middleweight. He was a middleweight. He was a middleweight. And what you was?
You don't even know me.
Okay.
Get out of the way.
Middleweight. What'd you start off, Kenny?
Why?
I would know.
How you gonna say?
I'm gonna tell the difference in your trucks.
Us big guys look like middleweights to you.
I don't care how big you get. You guys, when you put
collard greens, cornbread, man, men.
When you guys put them gloves on, you wasn't heavyweight. You wasn't full plus
I was a heavyweight in my first. Randy Gordon over here.
When you boxed me for Mahomes, you was a middleweight.
I was a heavyweight.
You was a light heavyweight, middleweight. And I cracked your rib.
Let me say this. You hear what he said?
I cracked his rib.
Yeah, when I was his sparring partner.
Okay.
Let me say this real quick. I was his sparring partner.
Don't miss the king over here. All right.
I was his sparring partner. He broke my ribs, but that's okay. I got even with him. I beat up his son Marvis.
Oh, I tell you. What I'm saying, Joe, these guys are no full plus heavyweights.
Yeah.
Neither one of them are bad. You're the only heavyweight is me. The rest of them was light heavy, light heavy, middleweight.
His head's bigger.
And heavyweight.
He's got a bigger head.
Yeah.
You were faster than anybody in the school.
He was light heavy.
You had a big guy coming after you, and he telegraphed. I heard you say that in an interview, and you were quicker. Do I have it good?
You're not as dumb as you know.
Thank you very much. And we'll be back in just a moment. Are you, is there a brotherhood here? No kidding. I mean,
I like this guy. I mean, we work together. He does things.
Who you talk about, Joe?
Joe, mainly because he's in Philly and I'm in Easton. That's only like 60 miles apart.
Yeah.
He does fight shows. I put on things for kids and do shows. He comes.
Wild thing.
We work together as far as helping the community together. Kenny and I don't see these guys until we hit the road, but it's always great to see guys like this. And this, people don't realize what this means to come together with Champions Forever. Have 4 champions, the greatest champions that I feel that ever lived, is sitting right here with you, sir.
Yeah. Briefly.
Gentlemen, I want to know if you like the new ruling with the championship fight, 15 rounds or 12 rounds. What do you like?
I like 15.
Thank you.
I like one if the guy gets paid for it.
I'd like to know how you all feel about the problem with the use of steroids in professional sports, and if there's ever been a problem with it in boxing.
Well, some fighters are using it. I don't like no drugs. I condone it. I mean, I think drugs is a bad habit. Drugs are killing our society, killing our whole family. People will say, well, you know, it ain't gonna happen to me, it ain't gonna happen in my family. But I want all y'all to know that it will happen to you and it will happen in your family.
One of the testimonials on this tape titled Champions Forever, how do you hope to be remembered? I'll just show you, just briefly. How does Ken Norton hope to be remembered? Here's what he said.
An intelligent being, a caring being, and an individual who, even though he was very competitive, I would say in his heart that he never wanted to injure anyone, and that he was a man who believed in God.
I'm glad you waited high, caller. Go ahead.
Oh, Phil.
Yes, sir.
Yes. My question's for Larry Holmes.
Yeah.
Larry, you fought Ali and Norton, but what, if anything, of importance got in the way of you fighting Frazier Foreman during your career?
Well, Foreman had retired, and Joe Frazier, he just didn't want no parts of me because I'm going to do him like I did his son.
How does Larry Holmes want to be remembered? Listen to this. Roll the tape.
The people's champion, as I wanted to be while I was fighting. The guy who gave opportunities to fighters that when they got opportunities. A fighter who accomplished and set examples. The guy who, like, walked the road that he wanted to walk.
Nice. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I see all you guys. You guys are great, but I hope you look out for Mike Tyson when he starts getting in trouble again.
Do you feel any chaperone how do you think?
I don't really think Mike is getting in that much of trouble as
yes, he
people.
is, Joe. He's getting in trouble.
Look, Larry.
The guy's getting in trouble.
Same thing.
You never read about me.
Well, you had somebody cover your back.
No, nobody never.
Did the same thing.
Believe me, I didn't do the same thing that Mike Tyson did.
Somewhat. You understand?
No, somewhat. I was an angel.
No.
What? Yeah.
I was wondering, you guys look real good, but I wonder, do you have to stay in shape? Do you work out?
I've been working out because I'm doing an exhibition in Florida, and somebody might come back and give me a few $1 million to go out there and fight Joe Frazier.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. You say you're working out, huh?
Yeah.
I got a question for you and you. I'm going to give the king a pass here, and this auto accident probably exempts Brother Kenny from this. Can you do this?
Yes, sir.
You can do this?
Yeah, I know I can.
How about you? Hold on to this one.
Yes, sir.
Please. I said please. All right? Okay. Huh?
Go.
Huh?
Good.
Hippity hop to the barber shop.
Okay. Smoking Joe.
Yeah, back on.
All right. All right.
I will show you.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Hey, Jordan. Well done, Joe. Well done. All right. All right, Larry.
I got to jump rope.
That's all you're going to do? What is this? We're in New York City with the champions of the world forever, and we'll be back in just a moment.
With all the beating and abuse you got, why would you put your son on the ring?
You get a lot of beating, man. I didn't know you got a lot of beating.
You got a beating, Joe? Who talking about?
You.
I got a lot of beating?
She wonders how you could put your son through what you went through. Doesn't that... How do you stand there and watch your kid get hit in the nose?
Well, number one, my sons know that this game is no play toy. I tell the boys when they come to the gym to get the brain shook, the money took, and the name on Undertaker book.
Besides, that was this no.
And the main thing about it is nobody in the world can make you fight. They can probably make you do a lot of other things, but fighting? No. Think about it.
You got to come from the inside from that.
You got to be there. I never made these boys fight. I love to see them walk around and be a lover.
How would Joe Frazier like to be remembered? Here's what he said. Roll the tape.
Good to me. I love it. It just bothers me when I have people trying to shut it down. I mean, if you didn't make it good or you didn't make a couple of bucks and you wasn't a good leader, I don't give you the right to knock it down because boxing has put a lot of bread in a lot of people's pockets. Same thing as love.
This is for Joe Frazier. Yes. I was just wondering, me and my girlfriend missed our bus to go back to Philly, so I was wondering if you can give us a ride back.
I have a question for the commissioner, New York State Boxing Commissioner,
I'm
Randy.
pleased to recognize Randy Gordon, the New York State Athletic Commissioner. Glad you're here, Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I'm one of the folks that goes to boxing matches at the Feld Forum. I'm concerned about the safety of the boxers. You're putting boxers into the ring with averages like 30 fights and 20 losses. That's an average of 333. That would be great if he was playing shortstop for the Mets.
They're going to get
I'm
hurt?
going to. The day is going to come.
Are you worried about their physical?
Absolutely. We're going to have a serious injury in the ring. Something has to be done about that.
What do you say about that, Commissioner?
There's a lot of matches that go on, and I got to tell you, from maybe about 1,000 fights that we've turned down, there have been a few that have snuck past, and if a guy passes his physical, it gets really tough to turn down. But we have been turning down mismatches all over the state, and if we have to put a promoter out of business, we will. But yes, you're right. There have been mismatches that have gotten through.
And you're watching?
We're trying our best.
Yes. Yes, sir.
A question for Larry Holmes. What would a normal day of conditioning be for you before a fight?
Up at 5, running 3, 4, 5 miles, back to the hotel, do some exercise, get a good breakfast, and off to sleep. And back up again about 3 o'clock, go to the gym, shadow box 3 or 4 rounds, box 5 or 6, maybe 8 rounds, do some jump rope, hit the big bag, hit the heavy bag, do some exercise, take a shower, call my wife on the telephone.
You say call your wife on the telephone. Is it a bad idea to have your wife in camp and be there? And
that was the olden days.
That was the olden days. What's the matter, Joe? You're laughing. What is it?
I ain't no olden days.
The olden days, you couldn't have your wife in the camp.
Well, what does that have?
Today, you can have your wife. You can have your wife in the camp if you know what to do. If you discipline yourself. I mean, you know, I can't.
What do you do when you have your wife?
Was it a good idea to have your wife in camp, Joe?
No.
Are you there, caller? I'm glad you waited. Hi. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
If it's good to have your wife home worrying about what she's doing.
Yes.
Well, then why you got to worry about it if you matter?
Hang on. I got some folks in the audience.
Mike Tyson's personal life has been exploited by the media. Has that happened to any of you, and how do you feel about it?
We don't let that happen to us because we don't do the things that Mike Tyson does.
How would the prettiest and the greatest boxer of all time like to be remembered? Here's what he said.
Listen, I don't have to say I'm the greatest. When I quit boxing, the game died. Didn't it die? Tyson came along. But still, when you watch Tyson, he's good, but he's no Muhammad Ali.
I was wondering, with your schedule must have been really crazy training. What did that do to your family life and your relationship with your kids?
Did it hurt the marriage, friends?
Well, in my case, no. The only thing that I regret is that now my son plays for Dallas. And I miss his growing up.
How about you?
I think it makes my life even stronger because being away from her makes me want to get back to her. So it makes a relationship even stronger when you miss someone.
Oh, I never left her. I'm with boxing every day. And I try to keep myself in condition so I can deal with my boys and the people around the world. And let's say I'm holding fights here, there, with Larry, with Patterson, and doing everything. I just, I'm there every day and I'm staying in shape.
Yeah.
I'm in condition.
Did your worldwide fame and your championship status affect your marriage at all, Muhammad?
No. Leave that one alone, okay?
No.
Tell me you're happy married now.
Didn't affect
it. He's good.
Yes.
Good to go.
Yes, one question from Muhammad Ali. Did they have any plans of making a movie of your life?
They made 2.
They made 2 movies. No more coming, huh? No more. All right. Yes. Yes.
I want to know, what is your position on the comments made by Jimmy the Greek in terms of blackmail and superiority?
He was right.
Tell us.
You know,
Tell us, Larry.
See, one of the things that people get, you know, they did bring us over here and they did breed us. They did make us big. They did make us strong. And they condemned him for it. They should have condemned a lot of other people for worse things that they said, but he only was telling the truth.
Well, but the point has to be made.
So he made it.
Well, I want to... Before the turn of the century, most jockeys were black. They breed those people, too?
Oh, yeah, they go for the pygmy tribe and get those.
Yeah, give me that. Here you go. I want you to each to sign this glove, and then we'll give it to a lucky person in the audience. So, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Tomorrow at noon, Oprah goes in search of New York women who possess classic chic.
Consumers, when is this?
The tape is titled Champions Forever. I'm pleased to recommend it to attention. Some of the greatest moments in modern boxing history, starring all of the people who've been guesting with us today. I've got an autographed boxing glove, legit, Everlast. I'm not sure. Wide shot. They take a wide shot.